You're watching The Bo Frye Show, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Albert Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, The Ryder Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to this week's edition of the Bo Frye Show. I'm your host, Joe Hurlbert, alongside head coach Bo Frye here on Rider Nation Station. Coach, big win on the road at Shawnee. Defense pitched another shutout. I think this is 6 consecutive quarters without the opponent scoring. So the defense playing well, and anytime you get a shutout, and all you have to do is score 1 point and you win.
Yeah, no, for sure. Whenever you play great defense, great things happen.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at the Western Buckeye League standings going into week number 8. The Wapakoneta Redskins are still atop the Western Buckeye League with a 6-0 mark, followed by Defiance at 5-1. Salina St. Mary's Bath 4-2 in league play. OG is 3-3. Shawnee, Elida, Banwart, and Kenton are all 1-5 in the Western Buckeye League. Of course, Wapak remains the only undefeated team overall in the Western Buckeye League. Last week's scores, in case you missed them, Salina and Bath had a dandy ball game, 36-35. Salina comes out on top. Defiance throws a shutout against Elida, 35-0. Wapak beat Kenton, this week's opponent for the Rough Riders, 42-21. In overtime, it was Vanwart 35, the OG Titans 34, and of course St. Mary's shuts out Shawnee by a score of 42-0. Coach, let's take a look at, as we do each and every week, we try to take a look at some of the younger programs. Let's start with your 8th grade. How are they doing?
8th grade's still undefeated. Haven't had a game within 30 points. So a pretty good group. A lot of them, they play hard, they're physical. I was just out here last night watching their game. They're a good group of kids.
Somebody told me that the 8th grade has, in all the games this year, has been a running clock.
Yeah, running clock on every game, yeah. They're pretty talented. Hopefully we can keep that group together.
Absolutely. And then, of course, your freshman program?
Freshmen just got a big win on Monday against Shawnee. I think they're 3-2, 2-2. They've played some pretty tough opponents. We sent them up to Findlay to play some big teams. They're going down to Miamisburg this Saturday because we can't find freshman games. So we're scheduling everyone. I think they've dropped one to Marion Local early in the year, and they beat Walpock and they beat Shawnee. And they've lost to Findlay, and they lost to I'm not sure the other one.
Well, and it's got to be tough to try to find programs without a freshman team. Of course, a lot of teams around the area are doing that. They're including their freshmen into their JV program, and so it just makes it tough to try to find opponents.
But we believe in keeping numbers, and we believe keeping kids out for football because we believe in the power of good things happen when kids play football. So we're always going to keep that, and we're going to try to keep a freshman team as long as we can, but we have to schedule some pretty good opponents in order to do that.
And of course, obviously, by doing that, you want the kids to get snaps, you want game situations, and you want to keep them going, not just bring them up on the JV team, where they're just considered a number.
Yes.
You want them to play.
Correct.
And then your JV program?
The JVs, I believe, are 6-1. They dropped one to OG, but other than that, they've played pretty well. We're moving kids up, moving kids down all the time in that unit. So they're a good group.
Of course, now that's a look at the programs, 8th freshman and JV programs. But right now, let's focus a little bit. Of course, I know your philosophy is we're just going to play one game at a time and we'll let the numbers fall where they may. But let's take a look at the computer rankings for this week. In Region 12, Tip City is on top, followed by Wapak, Bellbrook, Washington Courthouse, Batavia, Cincinnati, Archbishop McNicholas, London, and of course St. Mary's Falls 8th in this week's computer rankings. And, of course, as everybody knows, if you finish in the top 8, you get to host a first-round game. And then we go from there. Salina's also in Region 12. They're in the 10th spot right now. So there's a possibility and pretty good chances that 3 WBL teams will make it into the computer postseason in Region 12. So we just have to continue to put wins on the board, and hopefully we'll be able to get off that bubble, so to speak, of hosting a home game. We can move up maybe to 5 or 6 or even higher before the end of the season. So
yeah, I don't bullcrap our kids. I tell them straight up, hey, here's where we're at. If you want to play another home game, you better win. So we've got 20 seniors, so I'm not going to lie to them. They can get on the internet and find those things.
Right.
So yeah, we play one game at a time, but you got to tell them if you want to play again, this could be it here on Friday night if you don't get it done in the last 3 weeks.
Exactly, absolutely. So that's a look at the computer rankings as far as Region 12 is concerned in Division 3. Well, Coach, the Rough Riders pitched a shutout last week, of course, 42-0. A lot of penalties. A lot of penalties in this ball game. Probably a lot of them, when you look at the film, you just kind of have to scratch your head whether they were warranted or not. But, that we had a running clock in the second half. We would have been out of there by 8:30 if it wasn't for all the penalties.
Yeah, it's the thing, though. It's a serious issue, and we're trying to work on it. But we preach physical football, and we're not going to change that because that is our advantage. So.
Absolutely. This is the opening kickoff. I think the very first opening kickoff had a penalty, and I think this is the opening kickoff. If we can replay that at the 10-second mark, stop it. We'll go back and do that. At about the 10-second mark, if we can get it stopped, if you look, 24 Dominic Osborne, just a little bit farther, right there. He's just the ball's already kicked off, but he's just a little bit ahead of the football. But
they very rarely ever call. Yeah. They usually give you about a yard grace period, but the penalty's a penalty, and the rules are the rules.
Yep.
So,
but then again, then after that, the Rough Riders had to re-kick. But this is, I think this is the kickoff afterwards, and of course the Rough Riders. This special teams unit played pretty good. Yeah,
we got embarrassed early in the year on our kickoff team, and we've had some issues on our kickoff team at times. So we've put veteran guys on our kickoff team. They'll fly downfield, and we did give up a long one later on. So it's a constant work. It's kind of a testament because they don't kick off at any level anymore.
Yeah.
So they only work kickoff when they get to the varsity level. So kids have no experience running down on kickoff. So we have to work a lot of it in practice.
And word has hit my ear this past week that Brady Triplett is enjoying this game of football.
He likes football a lot. Yeah.
That's awesome. He's come a long way.
Yeah, good kid.
And you can see the confidence building each and every week. And so,
he's good. He's good. He probably has a future in it.
This is the defense. I think this is Owen Ott. Owen Ott just decided he wanted to do the WWE thing and just body slam him to the ground. So.
Yeah.
And that just goes to, it's the physicality of this defense. And I think sometimes, you hit hard like that, it sends a message.
It's still football in the end.
It
is.
You
know what I mean? And football is a physical game, and it's always going to be. So we can't take it out of them.
Exactly. This is Luke Bournes. I think he was all over the field on Friday night.
He plays hard.
He played hard, and
Great kid, first and foremost. Luke Bournes. You want something done, you go ask Luke Bournes. He's a great kid. And he'll hit you.
Right there's a good example of that. And of course, he closed extremely well on the play. So.
Well, Coach Yale coaches the secondary, and I always talk about they take on the personality of their coach. And Coach Yale preaches toughness. So I'm proud of him for that.
This is Mabry on the carry.
Yeah, nice sweep by Mabry. The kid's got great feet, man. He has for the last 4 years. We're going to need him to continue to get better and continue to do what he does the rest of the way.
Colton on the game carried 12 times for 81 yards, 6.8 yards per carry. That puts the offense in pretty good second down situations.
Yeah, we're using a lot of backs right now, trying to take the load off them at times a little bit. But there's a lot of people that can play running back for us.
Well, we've seen throughout the course of the season Dylan Fink, and we've seen Jacob Kessler at halfback from time to time. There's another nice
run by Mabry again. He's got great vision. He's been running in the wing tee for 4 years now, guys. That's just a tip of the hat there for him,
Well, the Rough Riders picked up 355 yards offensively, and 307 of that came on the ground on 58 carries. The Riders went to the air 6 times, completed 3, and of course we'll see it here a little bit later. We completed the first touchdown of the season, but we're going to see that here in a little bit. That was a nice play.
Yeah, we've always been capable. I really like the maturity and the growth of Aiden Meinerding. But let's get back to this clip. This is Dom Osborne. I mean, you've seen that from Dom 1,000 times as well.
All season.
Yeah, all season. I mean, the guys they're seniors. They're seniors that want to still play. They're seniors that want to still get better. So I'm grateful and thankful for that. I've kind of turned this thing over to the seniors here this year. We're going to go and do whatever you guys want to do here, because that's where a coach-led team is better than a player-led team is better than a coach-led team.
And you can do that when you got 20 veterans coming back.
And they're all great kids. In the end, they're really great kids. And
I think this is Caleb Schmidt on the carry. Caleb had a good ball game as well. Very consistent with your offensive backs.
Yeah.
Caleb, 15 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. There's one of them there.
Caleb's a tough kid.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Caleb's mom. He says he watches the show with Caleb's mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with his mom. Yeah. So shout out. Thank you for spending time with your son and watching the show together.
So we got to continue to say good things.
Yeah, no, you should. He was the player of the week on offense.
Absolutely.
The kid's tough, man. The kid's physical, and
there's
just
Brady.
don't call him little.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's got great biceps.
Yeah. This is Brady Triplett on the extra point.
Yeah, Brady's Brady, man. That's just become like normal football for him now, isn't it?
And then on the ensuing kickoff here, again, good coverage by your special teams. Now he continues to play soccer through the week as well.
Yeah, he plays sometimes 2-3 games throughout the week, and then he comes to practice at the end, actually.
Oh, does he?
We'll do a second special teams period just for him. That was Schmitty flying down, blowing things up on kickoff right there as well.
Absolutely.
That's a whole group of guys.
Yeah.
So
and the goal on your special teams is what is it, inside the 30?
Inside the 30, yeah, was the goal. Sometimes week by week, you know what I mean. With a good kicker, that's obviously the goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is on defense. This is A.J. Hertenstein, who's stepped up and saw a lot of snaps.
Yeah, you're starting to see him more, man.
Yep.
He's got good hips for a big kid.
Yeah.
This is only his second year playing football.
Yeah.
So it took him some time. It's something you can't just take up overnight, in the trenches. So,
so that was the end of the first quarter. Rough Riders led at the end of one by a score of 7-0. We'll take a look at clips as we start the second quarter of action.
Mm-hmm.
This is, again, Dominic Osborne.
Yeah, nice counter there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Gets it down to about the 35-yard line.
Yeah. I don't think I really need to say much about that. That seems like a commonplace at this point.
I think one of the things that I noticed as I looked over is the plays of this week. There's a nice defensive play there.
Yeah.
That there really wasn't any plays other than the touchdown pass that was 60, 70 yards. Everything was pretty consistent, picking up big chunks of yardage, and then all of a sudden you'd bust one off for 15, 16 yards. But there was no really anything that.
Yeah, no huge plays.
But regardless, you just
some of that comes.
move the football.
Yeah, some of that comes down to how they're playing you on defense. You know what I mean? They're trying not to let you run for a 60-yard game, but they'll give you 10.
Exactly.
I mean, so we're going to take 10. You know.
Absolutely.
So,
good job there by Noah Dixon on the corner.
Kid's tough.
Yeah.
Yes, Noah Dixon. I really like the kid.
And he's run some offense.
Yeah, he's playing some halfback. Him and Kessler both playing some halfback now. So. Yeah. Starting to see our people again, you know what I mean? It took us some time to get it back figured out, but here's a guy you knew a lot of last year, and Trey Moore as a freshman. But dude's an athlete.
How sweet is that?
That was cool.
First touchdown
catch and
of the year.
throw of the year.
And I think the next clip is just the
back view.
end zone view of it. So.
Big Trey's gifted,
He's got a lot of speed.
He does, yeah. It's just the league is so gifted talent with skill kids right now that it's hard to get him in space at times. But
you just couldn't go out there and hand it to him any better than that.
I know, right?
Minerding put it right on the money.
Yeah, the kid. I'm telling you, I'm very proud of the progress of Aiden Minerding. A guy that could have easily didn't win the quarterback job early in the year and could have just packed it in and said, I'll just sit in the back and watch.
Yeah, exactly.
But, continue to get better, and he gets coached hard.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is just another good defensive
good football,
stop.
Man.
Shawnee, this is kind of impressive when you look at the defensive stats. Shawnee only had 123 yards of total offense, and they had 79 yards through the air, and they had, I was trying to think here, 44 yards on the ground. That's not too shabby.
No, defense is playing pretty well. They have their hands full this week. Kenton scored points on everyone, so.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Kenton later on in the program, but it'll be a good matchup.
It will be, yeah. Again,
this ball here is tipped,
yeah.
And of course Luke Bournes lets him know that he was behind him.
He's going to hit you.
But once it's tipped, it's
free game. Yeah, it's always free game. Whenever the ball's tipped, it's free game, and those guys are going to hit you. That's just what they do. I mean, we're not coming out here to watch guys catch balls. It's, and that's what we believe in.
This is very well set up. This was total surprise right here. Nice fake punt. Colton Mabry picks up the first down and more. Riders get a fresh set of downs. So,
yeah. New guy in the league, man. They hadn't seen our fake,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here's Osborne with a touchdown.
Yeah.
That pretty much ends the first half. Riders are up 21-0 going into the half. And I thought to myself, after they scored in the third, I thought, yes, running clock. So.
Yeah, I don't see those things. I don't even realize when I'm on the field. Yeah. I'm just coaching, Second half here now, right?
Mm-hmm. Start second half. Caleb Schmidt, the nice run.
You usually see Schmidt come alive in the second half.
Yeah.
I usually see him. He progressively gets better as the game gets on. He's been a real nice addition to the backfield of those other two.
There's just excellent line surge. I mean, that's a quarterback sneak from 3 yards out. And, of course, we've seen the quarterback sneak earlier in the year, a few games back, that went 12 yards for a first down. So, your offensive line, they're moving people out of the way.
It's one of the better lines we've had for a while.
Yeah.
When we're on, we got to bring it every week.
This here was just a breakdown on the kickoff.
Yeah.
And so.
Heck of a return by the kid. I think he's a young guy. Good skill by him. We just got washed by all three guys got washed, and then Dixon misses the tackle. That can't happen. Good job coming over. Bourne's playing contain, and Triplett thinking about making a tackle there.
I think if I was the kicker and I was responsible, my eyes would get real big if I'm the last guy.
He doesn't, though. He's not. He's not scared. I'll tell you what. There's something about Brady Triplett. He's not scared. I think if he wasn't such a good soccer player, he'd be willing to play some DB. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that was good, though. He was right there.
Yeah.
This is just a good job by Matt Murray.
Matt Murray, hearing his name, man. He's a big body kid that plays hard. He'll tell you too.
Well,
don't have a conversation with Matt; it'll never end, man.
Well, here was something that we see here. Your three defensive linemen. One's down, the other two are up.
Yeah, we rotate. They do a lot of stuff on defense. We're a two-platoon football team, which allows us to do that and do more things. And it's probably third and long, more of a pass type situation. We're going to give you different looks and different sets. And when those guys are playing with energy, they're hard.
Taylor Compton in there on that particular play. He continues to play well.
Yeah, you see him a lot. We got Kessler over here almost making a pick, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I knew it was bad on Friday when I was getting pretty ruffled with the officiating, and Kessler told me it was going to be all right. He's calming me down.
Well, there would have been a pick six.
It would have been, yeah.
Nonetheless, he got in front of the receiver, knocked the ball down.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask.
He's pretty good, man. He's pretty good over there. That's his natural position. Yeah. He's been playing in the secondary for 3 years. I remember him picking a ball off against Kenton a couple years ago.
This is a good pick by Parker Beam.
Beam, yep. He's talented. Yeah.
We'll see that in a moment, too. He had two interceptions on the night. One he returned back for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of coaching over there from Coach Yale. Product of two-platoon football. We try to make sure our young guys really play one way for the most part, guys like him. But in the future, you'll see him catching balls for us on offense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is Dylan Fink. Close to the end of the third quarter.
You should see Dylan Fink running in a JV game. It's like slow motion for him. He looks like he's playing a video game. He's going to be a good one. He reminds me a lot of the Hemmelgarn kid. I remember Hemmelgarn a few years ago. Yeah.
28-0 at the end of the third quarter, and of course now the running clock is in effect, and we thought at this point in time about 15 minutes we'd be done. Again, it was the penalties, and of course I'm sure Zach and Bill on the rules of the game will go over a lot of those.
Hopefully they can explain it to you.
Yeah. This is the fourth quarter. I think this is a nice punt by Triplett.
Yeah, he does it all for us, Punt's been one of the things we put a lot of time into.
And good coverage again. I think that was Luke Bournes again that drug him down.
Luckily, he made the tackle because he wasn't doing his job correctly. But if they get tackled, that's all that matters in the end. Good job by Turner.
Caleb Turner crashing down the line of scrimmage for
Turbo,
little to no gain on that one. Absolutely.
Tough kid.
And you can see the progress. From the first 3 games of the season, how your defense has started to improve. Yeah. Starting to play with a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm. They're not scared. They've never been scared. They're a good group of kids. Wild bunch at times. Yeah. But they play with no fear, and that's what we want from them. So, but students of the game work hard at it. All of them. There's Wesley Blair getting in there. There's Murray getting in there. There's Hertenstein getting in there. They love football, which in the end, that's all you can ask for. We getting loose with Finke again here. Telling you, man, he's going to be a good one. He's got hips. You can tell by the hips.
Yep.
You watch
and he's got a lot of speed.
You watch his hips, and that's what you're looking for in a running back is the hips. My little daughter, Frye, she should have been born a running back. I watch her play soccer. So
really?
She's got the hips of a running back. I said, man, maybe they'll have girls football at that point,
Kalo Schmidt with a nice run.
Yeah.
Just busting some tackles.
Yeah.
That's what's impressive about your running backs. If you don't get them by the legs and you don't stop them, they're going to drag some people down the field for some extra yards. Absolutely.
They do run hard. They're going to need to continue to run hard. It's our advantage, with the bodies we have there.
This is Caleb Schmidt, finishes off with a touchdown.
Yeah,
that's just nothing but good line surge and good power running by Caleb
Schmidt. Yep. I'm glad he's watching the show, though.
Absolutely.
Aren't you? Yeah.
Well, again, some things to clean up as we get ready to take on the Kenton Wildcats penalties. And I think sometimes what's really difficult, I would think, as a coach and a player, you're teaching your kids to do certain things on each play, whether it's block or whatever the case may be. And when officials miss the call and throw flags on penalties that really they haven't done, it's got to be difficult. It's got to be frustrating. And I think as a player, I would say, what do you want me to do? I'm doing, what I mean?
You're at the mercy. You just have to move on. You have to go on 2.4, go on to the next play. But we all call to somebody, and we have to call the officials at times. You know what I mean? I can't change their minds. You know, I can complain.
I get it.
And I can tell them that it's not a penalty, but
you're at their mercy.
I'm at their mercy.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You guys can talk about them on rules of the
There
game. Yeah, all you want.
Here's a pick six. Parker Beam just read this one just right. Boom, it's gone.
Yep.
You know, it was all over. 40-yard return.
Yep.
Touchdown. I think that's pretty much going to be the end of the ball game. We got one more clip. Riders win it going away 42-0. As I mentioned, 6 straight shutout quarters for the Rough Rider defense.
Mm-hmm. Seen some young guys get in here. Who's
Yep.
getting in on that? That's I think. No, I'm not sure. Didn't see it.
Yep. But there were got a lot of young kids in at the
Might have
end.
been Jackson Ramel, maybe. Yeah, I think Jackson Ramel. Got the line of Ramel boys coming here.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the Rough Riders win it 42-0 going away. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about this week's ball game against the Kenton Wildcats. It's senior night. We hope everybody can join us at Grand Lake Health Systems Field for that ball game. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
You're watching the Bo Frye Show, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Albert Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, The Rider Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
All righty, welcome back to the Bo Frye Show. I'm Joe Hurlbert alongside head coach Bo Frye. I want to thank all of our sponsors who have supported Rider Nation Station throughout this year's the game, Bo Frye Show, rules of the game, because without our sponsors we would not be able to do this. So the Kenton Wildcats come to town. They're struggling somewhat, but they can still score a lot of points. They can score quickly. Before we talk about the Kenton Wildcats, let's take a look at some of the games around the Western Buckeye League this week. Defiance is at Bath, Salina's at OG, Wapak is at Elida, Shawnee is at Van Wert, and of course the Rough Riders are hosting the Kenton Wildcats. As I mentioned, senior night. It'll be the last regular season game for these seniors. Hopefully, as we talked about earlier, if they make it into the postseason, they could host a game. But the last regular season game is Friday. And, of course, we'll have the final 2 games on the road with Elida and then Bath. But, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the Kenton Wildcats. Of course, they are pretty well known throughout the Western Buckeye League for many, many years as their passing attack. Is this year any different?
They're actually using a running back. They're running the ball quite a bit. They're scoring on everyone. And first and foremost, they're the best 1-6 football team maybe in the country. Because every single one of those games they've lost by 3, by 7. They're all one-score games other than last week against Wapak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the Kenton Wildcats, when your defense lines up, what will they see offensively? Will they see multiple receivers? Will they see split backs?
You'll see the old school Kenton, but you'll see a running back in there at times. And number 12, who lit us up last year through the air on the ground, he's heading running back now this year. They're really giving him the ball, and he's running some counters and running inside. So they're definitely doing a few more different things on offense.
And how does offensively and defensively your line size match up with their?
Oh, they're huge. They're huge. Yeah, I've seen their kids at powerlifting meets. They're big bodied kids. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anything, of course, special teams
Yeah.
Have to continue to work on special teams. I mean, last week against Shawnee, you put in a fake punt, but that's all just things that you work on throughout the course of the week.
I think we're continuously getting better on special teams. We put a lot of time and effort into special teams, and those are we care about them a lot.
I know your kickoff team last week got about maybe 2 or 3 plays on kickoff where they held them inside the 30-yard line. So you just can't give Kenton a short field.
Can't, no. So we're going to continuously do good things on special teams in every single aspect of the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we wish you the best of luck against the Kenton Wildcats. Of course, Rider Nation Station will be there to bring you all the action. Of course, as I mentioned, this is the last regular season home game for the Rough Riders in 2024. We hope you come out, sit in the stands, and cheer the Rough Riders on. So we wish you, again, best of luck Friday against the Kenton Wildcats.
Thank you very much.
For head coach Bo Frye, I'm your host, Joe Hurlbert. Until next time, so long, everyone.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.